All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Maxed Out Radio. We did it. We hit 10 episodes. Round of applause. Of course, I always start off the episodes with fan questions. So I got quite a few of them across all the apps. So I'm going to start with X first because there was only one over there from Penguin Soldier. Love that username. So they ask, not related to the manga, but I know you've mentioned hockey a bunch in other videos. Curious what teams you follow. I'm from Pennsylvania, so it's always been the Pens for me, at least for the NHL. Unfortunately, game one against the Flyers, though. Heard you. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I am a huge hockey fan. I actually got not only a huge hockey fan, but I played hockey for almost 20 years. So I got a lot of questions about hockey, so I'm excited to answer those. So I am a diehard Bruins fan. I have loved the Bruins ever since I started watching hockey. For the first time I watched hockey, I was a Bruins fan. And it's a hilarious story because I'm not from Boston. I live several hours away from the Boston area, but my father used to have a Boston Red Sox mouse pad when I was very, very, very young. I'm talking like this was probably in like 2004. And so I thought our family was Boston supporters because of that when I was like 4 years old. And so when I started watching hockey, I just instantly started rooting for the Bruins. And I believe the first time I ever saw the Bruins was when I played NHL 2K6 on the PlayStation 2 or something like that. So that is the story of how I got into the Boston Bruins. I absolutely love hockey. I adore it. I watch every single game. I don't miss a single game throughout the season. I watch all 82 games of the Boston Bruins, and it's often I put it on in the background while I'm working on the manga. So, yes, I very, very, very much love the Boston Bruins. And, yeah, so we got a Penguins fan in here. Penguins fan as a Maxed Out fan. That's awesome. I often referenced Sidney Crosby for when I was playing hockey growing up to get better and to improve. So that's a fun little fact right there. There was another question in here before I switched to Instagram and YouTube questions that someone asked about how I did the instruments, but it wasn't for when I was asking the questions. This was for the Reina card I posted. So Delta asked, I love the guitar design for Reina. This is, if I remember, I'll remember to put a video of me playing hockey and this card on the screen. Let me see, where is this? Okay, 3 minutes in. So I love the guitar design. Is it based off of real models similar to that of Bocha the Rock, or is it just what you thought looked cool / nice? So they are talking about the guitars that I put in the intro cards for the characters. I've only finished 2 out of the 4 for Reina and Maki. I haven't done Kotane and Heki yet. This illustration that you're seeing on the screen is going to look completely different in a couple weeks. So this has been part of the process of when I've been like redesigning all the characters. And so, yeah, that guitar is actually a guitar that I am building that Reina is holding. I will put it on the screen right now. So this is a Fender Squier that I own that I am transforming into essentially a custom built guitar. I thought it was only fitting for Reina's character that she would, you know, her father owns a music store, right? She would probably have some super sick custom guitar that she's had for years. So that was why I chose that. And obviously I went a different route for Maki with the Yamaha Pacifica, which is also another guitar that I own. But she kind of has just picked up music, and I figured somebody like that would probably just pick one that looks nice. They wouldn't really think too hard about what guitar it actually is. So that was the logic and reasoning behind that. So yeah, all the instruments in Maxed Out are real instruments. I've tried my best to own all of them. It's very expensive. I think I've talked about this in previous episodes before, but I just wanted the story to be like as accurate as possible. And, you know, it's truly a music manga through and through. So I've put lots and lots of thought into the instruments. I believe that was all the questions on X, right? So I'm going to head to Instagram. I don't think I had that many on Instagram, but there was maybe a few. So I see one there. While we're on the topic of guitars, Joey is here asks, what is Reina's guitar rig? So yeah, this is something that I've definitely, as I just said, put a lot of thought into, but I haven't really gotten the chance to showcase it yet in the manga itself or outside of it. So I pictured Reina, I think I tweeted this once, like being the type of character that, since her father was a previous musician, I know I haven't really shared that in the manga yet, but that's coming without any spoilers. Since her father was a previous musician, I kind of figured she would be the type of person to inherit a lot of older and super rare gear. So I am imagining her pedal board is going to be very 90s focused, if I had to guess. And so that would basically be what her guitar rig is. I think this is really, really, really cool. So essentially, I don't think anyone is going to pick up on this without me explaining it. So basically in chapter 2, when they're in the studio, that equipment, so those amps that are in the studio are the actual amp simulators that I used to record the songs. So, I did some research when I was looking at the location of Max Out, as I've done for all the locations, and I made sure everything was as accurate as it could possibly be. And so basically, I got the information on the music store's website of what amps they have in their studios, and I made sure I used the same amps when I was recording the songs. So I thought that was a really, really, really cool detail there. So that's essentially, the guitar rig that she's using is, whatever they have available at the store and in the studios. Shri611 Moon Love says, your style is really amazing. Thank you very much. Always appreciated. I think I did another one of these, right? Like a couple of days ago. So let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, always got to navigate through this Instagram app here. I got to go into my archive. Sorry if you can hear it. I just ate as well, like not too long ago. So I'm huffing and puffing a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we got some questions. Okay, so Matt Sheedy says, where do you get character inspiration from? Is it all from scratch or based on something? Yeah, this is an interesting question. So I love to watch anime, as I'm sure it's obvious. One day I'm going to do an anime dedicated episode of like all my favorite anime and talk about them. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of comparisons to Bocchi the Rock, obviously, but I would actually say my characters are not really based off. I know this illustration kind of counters that, but the character designs have massively changed since this illustration was made, and I just haven't gotten the chance to make a new illustration for it yet. But I would actually say the characters are more kind of focused and designed off of Sound Euphonium and that cast, and just kind of anime in general. I tried to create the characters in a way that felt like they were unique and weren't like, exactly copying any other shows or series or anything like that. And just tried to create a cast that felt like it was purposely made for this story. So, obviously, we all know the type of character Maki is. I've talked about it many, many, many times. And, the three of the other characters around her, I just wanted them to really support Maki's character in the sense of like, I'd think of it this way. This is the best way to explain it. When I created these characters, I thought of it as a pie chart, like literally just a circle that was cut into fours evenly, and every character's got their own side of the pie chart. So Heki is kind of like the angry, pissed off one that's super quiet. Reina's kind of like the serious one that's very smart. That's literally smart and wise. Like that's literally what her name means. And then Maki is obviously like the shy, reserved one. And then Kotane is the crazy, rambunctious one. So everybody's got their own piece of the pie chart there. And yeah, I'd say mostly that's kind of what I based it off of. Originally, like the story was kind of I would say like inspired from Bocchi the Rock in a way. I don't think the story, I know not that many chapters are out, but I really just don't think it follows a similar path as Bocchi the Rock. It definitely goes a different direction. So, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a hard thing to talk about without spoiling the whole story. So that's where I would say I mostly got the inspiration from, was just watching other shows and, taking other characters from other shows that kind of fit the role that I designed for them. How did Teenage Vibes 2007? How did you learn animation? I suck at animation. I am actually so bad. I'm still practicing every day. Still, I know I said in my previous video that I am working on the opening for the Expressionless Loop song, which I have still yet to release the new version of that song. I still have to do that. It's just taking a while, guys. So for those of you who don't know, I released the original Expressionless Loop in November, but I remastered and remade the song, and it's just like such a nicer recording, but I just haven't gotten around to releasing it yet because originally I wanted to have the opening video ready, but it's been a whole ordeal. I need to release that new version of the song soon. But yeah, animation, I suck at animation. Basically, I just watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials, especially from Dong Chang and Spywise Mind Palace. They're very helpful for learning the Japanese animation industry and just practice. Like, you just have to practice every single day with animation. It's really, really, really hard if you don't know how to draw. So I definitely recommend learning how to draw first and then doing animation, because if you do it the other way around, it's just really hard to get shapes right. So I learned that the hard way. I definitely had to learn how to draw first before I learned how to animate. But yeah, it's a totally different skill. That's something that I had to get over very quickly, was that just because you don't know how to draw, it doesn't mean you know how to animate. It's really, really, really challenging, because you just have to think about how things move all the time and that whole stuff. So we need a playlist reveal. I'm assuming that's talking about my Spotify music. So I actually have a playlist dedicated to rock music of the Japanese industry. So I don't know, maybe I can just share this in the description of this video. I don't know how to do it. I think it's, oh no, it is public. So yeah, I guess I'll just share this with you guys if you want to look at what songs I usually listen to. There's not that many in here. There's 215 songs in here. So yeah, if you guys want that playlist, I will do that. Okay, now I have to go to YouTube because there was a couple questions on YouTube as well. I believe I made one post about it. Is this the post? Yes, it is. Okay, so how come you have chosen Toyota for the location of your manga? Love this question. So I absolutely love this city. I'm planning to travel here within the next year or two. It's just a very expensive trip, which is why it hasn't happened yet. But I am fully planning on traveling to Toyota, Japan, which is where the Maxed Out story takes place, and visiting the locations that I've chosen for this story. Yeah, why did I choose it? Well, it's just, there's a lot of reasons, honestly. And so Maxed Out for me was the type of manga or story, whatever you want to call it, where I didn't want it to feel too I don't know, thrown together, in a sense of where you always see all these anime, they always take place in Tokyo. They're always in the city, right? Everything's so catered towards the whatever it's called, convenience of the story. And which it makes sense, right? A lot of animation studios are based in Tokyo, so it's just very easy to sightsee and take pictures and reference photos of Tokyo if they're just right there. So it totally makes sense. But in this case, when I designed Maki as a character, I intentionally designed it as someone who didn't live in a big city, because I just wanted this feeling of most people to be able to relate to this character. Like it was someone that was from a normal town, a smaller city, just living their life and not really knowing what they wanted to do with it. And so that's why I chose Toyota, because it was a big enough city to where there were plenty of things to do. It's really nice, really beautiful. But it's also small enough and like outside of Nagoya and definitely outside of Tokyo. It's very far away from Tokyo. It's about four hours west. And yeah, it was just like I really wanted to capture and honor the feeling of what it's actually like to live in Japan. And so that's why I chose a smaller city. I didn't want to go rural, like a non-Bayori type setting where it's like really in the sticks, because I felt like that was just not really what the story was trying to do. But I definitely didn't want to go like too into a big city, because it just felt like that would have been too convenient for what I was trying to write about. So I picked a middle ground, and this city specifically is very similar in a way to where I currently live. And so I literally tried to like find the Japanese counterpart of where I live, of what looked similar to my hometown here in America. And so I'm not going to dox myself of where that is, but yeah, that was, after like literally weeks of researching, trying to find the right location for this story, I landed on Toyota, funnily enough, and that's just where I stuck with it. So a fun fact about that story, yes, the name absolutely does have ties to the car manufacturer. The Toyota headquarters does take does take place. The Toyota headquarters exists there and basically sponsors the whole city. So the city is quite wealthy because of that. But yeah, I highly recommend going on Google Maps and just looking at all the locations. There's like some really cool spots and stuff. And yeah, it's just a really, really nice city. So I can't wait to travel there and see it with my own eyes. I'm planning on going on a big expedition and taking pictures and reference photos and just visiting all the locations that I've written for the story. So I can't wait to do that, but that's obviously a very expensive trip, so don't expect that anytime soon. That's going to be within the next 2 to 3 years, I imagine. All right, this one's a long comment, which is always good. I love answering these questions from Real Slies. I think that's Real Slies, not Real Sliz. Real Slies. Burisuko-san, very excited for the new episode. I've been binge watching them for the past 2 weeks. Thank you to all the fans that have been supporting Maxed Out Radio, by the way. Really appreciate it. Here are my questions. All right, we've got a few questions here. So, who's your favorite hockey player, and did you play on ice or roller skates? I'm going to answer them sequentially here. So, I've been getting into hockey a lot for these past months, and I was very interested when you mentioned playing it. Okay, my favorite hockey player of all time, I'd say lands between 2 different players, or 3. There's 3. One of them's quite a sad story, but so I'll just mention it briefly. So my favorite hockey player is currently David Pastrnak for the Boston Bruins. He is number 88, extremely creative, very good player. And yeah, he's just insanely talented at hockey. Like, he is just so good. I've never watched a hockey game and have just been like marveled at the things he does during the game. It's really just insane. Tremendous skill. And he's just a great dude too. Just a great guy. And I played ice hockey for about 20 years. I think I started when I was around 6 years old. And yeah, I played all the way up until I was about 24. And I'm 26 now, and I still want to play. It's just, as I'm sure you can imagine, hockey is actually very expensive. So it's just hard to, continue playing once you move on from your parents' support. But yeah, I love hockey, so I'm sure I will get back on the ice at some point. And yeah, I think that was all the hockey questions for that, wasn't it? Yes. So, yeah, for those of you who are maybe interested in getting into a sport, I highly recommend watching hockey. It is like one of the most fun sports to watch. It's just like pure action all the time. Do you have any advice for people with high standards that want to get into art? Yeah, I think my manga is a great example of this because I'm definitely the same way. As we were just on that topic with hockey, I have extremely high standards. I was very lucky to play hockey at a very high level. So, I learned what it took to win at, I'm going to use the word elite level, but, you can only get so far on skill, right? Eventually you have to put in hard work, and, talent can only take you so far. And so I when it comes to manga, I really thought that I could just work super, super hard and I would just instantly see progress. And that's not really how it works. I learned that the hard way. Essentially, just lower your expectations at the start. Work as hard as you can when it comes to getting into art, learning how to draw, learning how to, I think one of the best things to start with is learning how to trace. In your very first week, just so you learn how to understand shapes, and don't share any of these photos or anything saying you made it and whatnot. It's more of just an exercise to get your hands used to the shapes of things and whatnot, and from there you can start branching out into other things like shadowing or different shapes, like drawing circles and cones, and then learning anatomy. And just be patient with yourself, because it's going to take a long time to finally feel like you're starting to get it. And as I was saying, this manga is a great example of that. I think my first chapter I'm working on a video right now talking about this, but I rewrote it 15 different times, and it just never felt right when I was writing it. And eventually, I just kind of had to get over the fact that it was never going to be the way I wanted it for chapter 1. And I had to accept that I was just going to keep improving as I was making chapters. And so I just released chapter 1 anyways, even though I wasn't really happy with it, because you just can't really sit in the same loop over and over again of, oh, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better. Eventually you just have to kind of move past that and just accept, well, that's where I was at that time. I got to be okay with that, and I will improve more as time goes on. So that would be my advice for people with high standards at art. You're going to suck when you start. Just keep working at it, and you will see the improvements over a long period of time. It is not something that happens quickly. And then we have, how did you practice guitar? How did you stay so motivated while playing J-Rock? Yeah, so this is an interesting question. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. I taught myself how to play the piano when I was about 10 years old. My grandfather had a piano in his house, and I used to play it all the time. And that was my introduction to music. I shortly picked up EDM music after that, because my parents bought me a laptop for Christmas. It was this dinky little green laptop. And I just started, I was so encapsulated by how Skrillex made music when I was about 10 or 11 years old. It's hard to remember, that I wanted to do that as well. And so I just started I downloaded FL Studio and just started making electronic music every single day for years. I probably didn't miss a day for 10 years. And I did that all the way up until my early 20s and had a bit of a professional career in electronic music, but just kind of decided when I was about 22, 23, when I watched Bocchi the Rock for the first time, that, I always had loved real instruments. I was in band in elementary school and middle school as well. I was in the orchestra and played the violin. And so I had always kind of messed around with different instruments and whatnot, and they just never really caught on like the piano did. But I had always loved music and always loved playing instruments. And so when I watched Bocchi the Rock, I had maybe played guitar a little bit. I think I did probably 3 lessons when I was growing up, but never really got past the beginner stage. I was probably 12 or something like that. I don't really remember much about it. But that was like my first introduction to guitar. And then I didn't touch it for like 10 years after that, 10, 11 years. And then once I watched Boche the Rock, that was kind of like the thing that pushed me over the edge of, you know what? I want to get back into this whole guitar thing. And now that I'm an adult, I have the focus and patience to do it properly. And the rest was history. I just started playing every single day. I was terrible, absolutely terrible at the start. There are, I've probably privated them by now, but there was plenty of videos on my page of how bad I was. And yeah, I think just having that driving factor of Maxed Out being the project that I was working on, like really helped me push through that difficult, like 3-week stage of learning any instrument where like, you know, it just sucks learning an instrument in the first 2-3 weeks. Like you just can't do anything. Everything sounds like complete garbage. Like it's so hard. And then, you know, I just had to keep reminding myself. I was just like, you know, I'm doing this for Maxed Out. Like I'm trying to write the story accurately. So I want to learn how to play guitar so I can write what I'm, you know, writing about properly and not sound like an idiot. So yeah, that was why it really helped me learn the guitar properly. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that before. I learned the guitar so that I could write this story properly and correctly. And so, yeah, that was really what helped me stay motivated while learning J-Rock and stuff like that, because I was not expecting it to be so different from producing EDM. Like I had to learn a whole totally new skill set when it comes to producing rock music. It really does not. The only thing that transferred over was like shortcuts and understanding of the program, but the actual like plugins itself and how you produce the music and how you like EQ instruments and all that different technical stuff, like it was totally different. So I had to learn all of that over time. Okay, how did you come up with all the designs for the characters, and do you plan on introducing new outfits on the next chapters? And don't forget the beginner sticker next time. Yeah, so that's I don't remember like what illustration I put that on, but Maki used to have like one of those like student driver Japanese stickers. It's called a Shoshinsha sticker, which is like this yellow and green thing. And she used to have that on the headstock of her guitar, but I forgot to put it in the last illustration that I made. But yeah, you know, we kind of went over how I made all the designs for the characters, but let's kind of reframe that question into how did I physically, woo, excuse me, fellas. Oh boy. Yeah, I did just eat before I started recording this. So that was why that happened. I'm going to take a sip of this white monster to refresh myself. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So the designs themselves, I think this actually gets easier the more you develop the characters, which is why I redesigned them later on. Like I know you guys have probably been seeing on my page a lot that I've been redesigning the characters and stuff like that. And that's kind of because I understand them better now as the author. Whereas at the start, I didn't really, like I knew what they wanted to be, but I still really didn't get them. But now I fully get them. So, you know, it's just, you really have to think about, if you're writing a slice of life story, if these characters were real people that existed, what kind of habits would they have? Like, what clothes would they buy? How would they do their hair? How would they speak to other people? All things like that. And so I think what really helps is I was very observant growing up, and I was always like, even though I was shy up until I was about 18 years old, like I was always paying attention to everything that was going on around me. I was always like people watching in school and, you know, all these different things. And so you kind of pick up on different personality habits from people. And that's how I was kind of building these characters of like, okay, Maki is a really shy and reserved character, right? So she wouldn't do her hair in the morning. She wouldn't wear like super flashy clothes or anything like that. Like she'd probably just grab some random sweatshirt that she hasn't washed in a week and just throw that on every single day. She'd just have her hair down all the time. She wouldn't even like clean it or anything, or not clean it. Of course, she's gonna take a shower and clean it, but like, straighten it and stuff like that, and comb it out. Like she'd probably. That's why I always have that thing sticking out of the side of her head. So. Just little things like that. And Kotane, like, she's a drummer, right? So she'd probably have her hair up because she doesn't want her hair flapping around in her face. So she's got those little twin tails. Although Kotane's design has massively, massively changed. I did share that on my X, a little bit of the concepts that I was working on. I'm still kind of working on that design, though. But she doesn't really look like how she does in this illustration anymore at all. And then, do I plan on introducing new outfits in the next chapters? Absolutely. I have been studying women's fashion a lot for chapter 4. The first scene isn't really going to show that because it's just Maki wearing a t-shirt. But yes, I have absolutely been studying women's fashion, trying to understand a little bit better what these characters would wear. I think my Reina illustration shows this quite nicely. I was on the Uniqlo website when I was picking out outfits for her during that. Cry Peak sent me a little cat face. Thank you very much. That is very cute. Cat Lego Led Waba G8Q. That sounds like a Wi-Fi password. Okay, I'm kind of new to your channel, but I really enjoy the content you make. Just wanted to say that. Okay, as someone who draws, getting into animation, skates when you have free time, and starting to studying for university. Skates as in, that could be interpreted two ways. That could either be like skateboarding or skating, like as in hockey. One of the two. I've been thinking of picking up guitar as a new hobby. My first question is guitar a hobby you need lots of time to do? And 2, how expensive can you be? 3, how expensive can it be? Not how expensive can I be? 3, in your opinion, is it something actually worthwhile getting into? 4, if you don't have loads, is it not recommended? I'm assuming that's money. How cool and rewarding is it? That's the main questions I have for now. And I think there was a reply here. Okay, yeah, so I will read those sequentially. Guitar is not necessarily a hobby you need a lot of time to do. I pretty much learned how to play it. I'm gonna use the word somewhat successfully in about a year and a half, 2 years, to write all of the songs for Maxed Out. It really. I'm going to put an asterisk there because I did practice a lot every day, like multiple hours per day for at least the first 8 to 10 months. And then it kind of slowed down after that. And I honestly think you could probably learn to play the guitar in a year if you practice like 15 to 30 minutes every single day or every other day. It's really not that insane to learn. It's just that you have to have intentional practice with it. So definitely I recommend looking up YouTube tutorials and things like that to learn the basics and stuff. It's just that when you see those people absolutely shredding guitars on Instagram and all these crazy guitar playing videos, that's the stuff that takes a really long time because that is it's a hard instrument to master. So it's not really a hard instrument to learn. It's just really difficult to master and get to that super comfortable point. So that would be my suggestion with that. I really don't think you need a lot of time to do it, just a little bit each day. It can actually be, your second question was how expensive it could be. It could actually be quite cheap, honestly. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars on guitars at all. I've spent a couple $1,000s on the Maxed Out guitars and instruments, but that is not because I had to. That is just because I wanted to for the sake of the story and just wanted to have very specific instruments. You can absolutely buy $150 guitar and it will work just fine. Or you can buy one secondhand and just a cheap amp, or you can just use free amp simulators on your PC with an audio interface. You could probably fully deck out your guitar setup for under $300. So it doesn't have to be expensive at all. It's got quite cheap entry to it. But more expensive guitars do feel nicer to play. So it's not necessarily the sound that drastically changes. It's just like the feeling in your hands and, like kind of like the polish of the instrument, I guess. Is it something actually worth getting into? Absolutely. I mean, I love playing the guitar. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. I absolutely love playing the guitar. I love playing the bass. It's just been like so fun to learn new instruments. But again, that's just, me and my personality. I like those types of things. So you got to choose what's best for you. I'm assuming question 4 was saying like if you don't have loads of money or maybe loads of time, either one, I don't really think it matters. If you don't have loads of money or you don't have loads of time, I still think you can learn how to play guitar just fine. And then 5, how cool or rewarding is it? That's an interesting question. Honestly, I think it is, it's kind of a hard question to answer because I've never really like thought about it in the way of how other people perceive it. It was more like I picked up the guitar because it was something that I wanted to do for me and my story. It wasn't at all anything I was thinking about how like other people would perceive me or if they would think it was cool or anything like that. It was simply just I picked up the guitar because I wanted to write the music for Maxed Out and I didn't know how to play the guitar. And so it was a great opportunity to learn a new instrument and to, learn a new genre of music. And that was really the only reason I picked up the guitar. So, seeing that, I don't really know how to answer that question because I never really thought about how cool it is to other people and rewarding wise, like it has absolutely, been rewarding. It's kind of taught me that I think this is a valuable lesson for anybody. Like you can learn how to do anything if you just apply yourself to it for at least a few months. If you really dedicate the time to it and you get over that first initial setback that happens in the first couple weeks, like you can do absolutely anything you want to and learn any skill. And there was one more question here. I'm just going to read through it quickly because it's quite long. It was the answer to your comment, which I think most of it is pretty accurate. I think the best way to summarize it is their last line. It is very worthwhile when you reach the skill level that you can play songs you like. It's a hugely different experience than listening to your favorite music. Yeah. Yeah, I think that Ultra Cart answered your comment nicely. So I believe that was all of the questions that were asked. I'm sorry if I missed any, guys. That was really long. That was almost 40 minutes long. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to all of the questions. There were a few things that I wanted to talk about that happened in the week, so I think I'm going to make this part into a short. So, making manga has completely taken me out of shape of my physical... I have completely lost my physical ability after becoming a mangaka. And so I have been trying to get back into shape. And obviously playing hockey is a little bit more of a task. So, basketball is very big where I'm from. It's very popular. All my friends play it. I play it as well. Even though I'm not that tall, I still play basketball with my friends all the time. I'm not amazing, but I can hold my own. I can get some tough buckets, okay? And, oh my gosh. Like, I've never had this experience in my life. So it's been about like a year since I've exercised like properly. And I played once with them and I was okay. I just took it easy. And so then we went back the following week. And I was so short of breath after taking just like one sprint for about... I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds of running that I almost passed out on the court. That's how out of shape I am from manga. I almost passed out after running really hard for 5 seconds. 5 seconds, man. I couldn't believe it. I've never had this experience in my life. Everything just started like, it's like when you stand up really, really, really fast, but then nothing came back. So like my vision started to fade to black, and then my ears started ringing, and I was literally just like, I was still standing up, but I was hunched over. And the only thing I could think about was, oh my God, don't faint. Like, this is so embarrassing. Do not faint. This would be the most embarrassing thing ever. Do not faint. And I was just sitting there like that for like 30 seconds. And then eventually my vision didn't come back, but my hearing started coming back, and I could start hearing things around me again. And then my vision slowly came back after that. And that was just like one of the most bizarre experiences I have ever had in my life. That was insane. I had no idea that manga had put me that out of shape. It was crazy. So after that, I decided I'm going to exercise a little bit every day. I'm never letting that happen again, because I was very, very, very active growing up. I was always exercising, always playing sports, always outside, always in good shape. And that has completely fallen off in the past year or so. So luckily, my weight is doing okay. I'm still, exactly where I need to be weight wise and all stuff like that. But it was just my breathing and my stamina is at an all-time low. So we're fixing that this year. And then on top of that, the same day, not even 5 minutes later, obviously drawing is my job, right? So I need my drawing hand, and I jammed the hell out of my freaking pointer finger to the point where I couldn't even move it. And so I've been having to draw for the past 3 days with like my pointer finger completely stationary, pointed up, and only using my middle finger and thumb to hold the pen because I couldn't move my finger. But yeah, it was black and blue for at least a couple of days, but it's starting to come back now. So I have movement back in my finger. It's been a rough week on the basketball court. All right. I'm no LeBron. Okay. I do not have the insane skill level when it comes to basketball. I just feed the hot hand. All right. Whoever's taking the shots and making them, I just give them the ball. That's the type of player I am when it comes to basketball. Oh my gosh, what a mess. What a mess, man. What else has been going on? I've been working on chapter 4. I'm sorry it's a little bit slow when it comes to getting that out. I'm sure you guys can understand. I am the only person working on the manga, so it is kind of like I focus on the YouTube videos and all of the shorts first during the day, and then I do manga at night when I've finished everything else. So that's why it usually takes me a little bit longer. I know most of you are like super understanding of that, and thank you very, very much for your patience. I know a lot of you have been waiting for a while. Unfortunately, the news I have to bring you is I'm only about 2 to 3 pages done with the manga right now out of the 13 that are required for this chapter. So it's going to be a while. It'll probably be like late May, if I had to guess, or early June. So it's going to be a bit before you see chapter 4. And there's been some like reworking of how long the first volume is going to be. So I think it's important to mention this. I'm aiming for around 7 to 8 chapters. And then I think I'm going to cut it there for volume 1. And the way I think I'm going to do this is volume 1 is going to be completely free. So you can read it in its entirety for free, no paywall at all or anything. And then volume 2 will be free monthly chapters. And then you'll be able to purchase the volume once I finish the whole volume. So I think that's how I'm going to do things. So I wanted to mention that in here. And as for the songs, me and Yui are still working on the chapter 4 song that is in production right now. So I think you guys are really going to like this one. It definitely leans more towards the vibe of the expressionless loop song we were writing, but it has a little bit of a different take to it. So I'm really excited to share that one because I think you guys are going to like that one. And what else is going on in the maxed out world? yeah, I've just been redesigning the characters, working on lots of YouTube videos. I have a great YouTube video coming up. I can't wait to do this one, which is building Reina's guitar in real life. So the one from her intro card, we are going to be building that in real life. It's going to be my first ever guitar build, like custom from scratch. So I'm really, really, really excited to do that. I think that's going to be such a fun video. It's just, as I'm sure you can imagine, it's a lot because I've got to learn how to do it properly, and then I got to film it and then edit it, and it's going to take several weeks to do it. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, though. I can't wait to make that video. And yeah, I've just been like focusing on trying to make more long form YouTube videos. I know Maxed Out Radio is kind of its own thing, but like I did with the Heki character design video, I've had some other videos planned about manga and drawing and stuff. Why do I have to burp so bad? Holy cow. It's definitely this monster. I chugged this monster before I started recording this episode, and now I have to burp like crazy. So yeah, that is kind of where we're at. I think I'm going to call it here because I don't really have much else to talk about. And this was a long episode. So leave a thumbs up on this video for the long episode. You know, I think these are the best type of videos to draw to and stuff like that. So maybe I should mention that at the start of the next episode so people don't skip off of it in 2 minutes because this was definitely a longer episode. So yeah, let me know what you guys like. If you like the longer episodes or the shorter ones, I'm fine with whatever. I've been trying to do them like bi-weekly around there. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer because I have some stuff going on. So yeah. I think that's a wrap for episode 10 of Maxed Out Radio. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I just really love recording these episodes. It's fun to sit down and chat with you guys every week. So I guess that's it for this one. Thank you guys so much for supporting Maxed Out. Be sure to stream the songs. Again, that's the best way to support the Maxed Out project. You don't have to buy any manga stuff at all because it's all free to read. Simply just stream the songs on Spotify or your preferred platform, and you can directly support Maxed Out by doing that. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in episode 11.